Hello, ladies and gents, welcome back. All right, it's time for semifinals. Before this tournament, I made a preview. I had my top 8 guys that I thought was gonna reach the quarterfinals. Of those guys, 6 went through and booked a ticket in the quarterfinals. The other 2 guys missed the train, and that was Medvedev and Rublev. I had Djokovic, Alcaraz, Tsitsipas, Zverev, Rune, and Ruud in my preview as quarterfinal players. They didn't disappoint me. They all went to the second week and the quarterfinal, and now we have reached the semifinals. 4 guys are remaining. 4 men are the last 4 standing here. And we have the blockbuster match that I see as the moralic final. It's between Djokovic and Alcaraz. Of course, I said this is the battle I'm looking forward to. And the other semifinals is between Casper Ruud and Alexander Zverev. Right, before I dig into the draw, the semifinal preview, I'm just gonna talk about a little bit about the semifinal yesterday. First, I'm gonna go in with the battle between Zverev and Echeverri, the Argentinian ball striker that has a great offensive baseline game, a clay court specialist that has done his job so great so far, but against Zverev, it was too much. Zverev's heavy artillery was too difficult for him to handle. Even though he pushed him, he took a set and he asked the questions. He tried really, but Zverev was too strong. He served too solid, and we all know when Zverev's serve doesn't click, he's so difficult to face. You will get pushed back from the baseline, and it's very hard to dictate the game when you give him the opportunity to dictate and take the commando. And that's what Zverev did against Echeverri, and he has looking superbly great this in this tournament. Last year we all know that he got that terrible injury against Nadal in the semifinal. After that, he hasn't shown any glimpse of his old player that won several Masters and reached the US Open semifinal. He hasn't really been on the edge, but we all know that it's very difficult to come back from the injury, and he had that foot injury. Just look at Dominic Thiem. Even though his injury is totally different, he has an hand injury that he hasn't still not recovered from. He is a pale shadow of his former self, Dominic Thiem. Very tragic, but it works like that in sport. Just look at how amazing and fortunate the big three has been for their career, even though all of them had multiple injuries for their career, especially Nadal. They have bounced back. They have I don't know what they eat or drink, what juice they take. When I mean juice, I don't mean anything that is forbidden. I mean preventable stuff. But like we all know, they are a different species, these big three. So it's very difficult to come back, and I wish Dominic Thiem all the best in the future. So Zverev really served great comeback, and he's gonna face Casper Ruud. They are facing each other for the 5th time. Zverev is up 3-1. Their previous meeting was in Miami last year, where Casper Ruud defeated him. I think it was in the semifinal. But now they have never met on clay, so this is gonna be very interesting. Before I go into the preview, I'm just gonna talk about a little bit about Casper's victory against Holger Rune. Before the match started, I thought that this was gonna be a competition between these 2 Scandinavian guys. They have some history in the past, but we all know that Casper Ruud is a solid player on every surface almost, and he was not gonna do too much unforced errors. He was not gonna invite Holger Rune into the match. Rune would have to take this battle on his own terms and just win. He had to take the racket out of Ruud's hand, and he didn't do that. In the first two sets, it was like similar to how Stefanos Tsitsipas played against Carlos Alcaraz. Rune wasn't there. Look at the first game in the match. He had 2 break points, and after that, Ruud took 11 straight points and dictated the game. We have seen Rune through the tournament. He had played some hard and long battles through the first 4 rounds. Even though he got a bye, he went the distance in the previous round, in the 4th round, against Serundulu. So everything that you see on court that is difficult, Rune made it very simple in the previous round, but against Casper Ruud, that it was the opposite. The difficult points, the difficult tactics that he sometimes do was not working, and Rune was he didn't have that timing, he didn't have that patience, he went for the trigger too often on moments when you think that you should hold your head a little bit colder, you should relax a little bit, take it easy, because Casper will not give the points away for free. So you really have to play more strategical against him. And that's exactly what Casper Ruud did. He raised his serve, his serve was not phenomenal, but way over average that I've seen in the tournament, and his returns were amazing. His movement, of course, he's a great mover on court. He's smart. He uses that clay court when he slides and fish up the points that is too difficult. But it's hard to resist Rune when he put that acceleration on his forehand. It's one of the best shots in the ATP circus. And he put an enormous pressure on Rune from the baseline. He played the ball as I would have done. He really dictated the game and pushed away Rune from corner to corner, and that's when the easy unforced errors came from Holger Rune's racket. Because we all know, we have seen, he's not a one-hit wonder, this Casper Ruud. He has reached this final last year where he got demolished by Nadal in the French Open. He reached the final at the US Open. He reached the final at the World Tour finals. So his highest level was enough yesterday against Holger Rune. And the way he covers the court is just amazing. Rune didn't have a chance in the end. I think he was exhausted. He was a little bit tired. He was too unsharp. And and Casper Ruud just did his job. He did what everybody expected from him. He kept everything cool and was doing his job. It was a great day at work for him. And he won 72% behind his first serves and 59% behind his second serve. And Rune only won 64% behind his first serves and 48 behind his second serve. And Casper Ruud did 32 winners and 29 unforced errors, and Rune did 48 winners, almost 15 more winners, but 47 unforced errors. All right, enough about that. All right, who do I think will advance to the final? Zverev or Ruud? Ruud looks like the more solid guy. He's gonna rely on his A game, and that is grinding down Sasha Zverev and taking the control of the rallies and just play one extra ball over the net and wait maybe for Zverev to make unforced errors. And of course he has to serve well. Same goes with Sasha. If he doesn't serve great like he did in the previous round, he will crash out, because Ruud isn't great returner. We have seen a similar pattern from almost all of the players that when they are facing the serve in their return position, they are very behind. So kick serve is gonna be things that's gonna give you advantage. So it depends on how you serve. Of course, that's very crucial. But on clay, you have time. You can take your experience onto the court. Both of these players are pretty experienced now. It's gonna be a tough battle. I have to choose one, of course. From what I have seen, I really hope for Sasha Zverev to reach the final. I will give him the slightest edge. 51 against 49% in favor for Sasha Zverev. But I won't be surprised if Ruud defeats him in 3 straight sets. Casper Ruud has... he really doesn't have many flaws, to be honest. Maybe he doesn't do a lot of winners, but on the other hand, doesn't do too much unforced errors either. But Zverev have the firepower to hit through him, to hit through that wall, and that is gonna be very crucial. If that doesn't work, I think Zverev is doomed. But we all know that forehand, we all know that backhand. If that works, Casper Ruud is gonna crash out. So I think that Zverev will reach the final, and who is gonna meet? In my prediction, I had Novak Djokovic as the winner in this tournament, and now I'm gonna go into that semifinal preview between the blockbuster semifinal between Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic. They met once, and that was in Madrid last year. It was a long, tough, free set. I think it was almost 3 hours and 38 minutes between those two. And Carlos prevailed in the end. Now it's different. The surface at Madrid are a little bit faster. Here, the surface is a little bit slower. You have more time. And we all know that Novak knows his court pretty damn well. He has reached the quarterfinals 17 times, even more than Nadal. But we all know that Nadal has won 14 times, and Novak has only won twice. He's out here to collect that third Roland Garros title and win, and that will make him superior with 23 Grand Slam winners, and also make him win all the Grand Slam at least 3 times. So Novak have a lot of things on the stakes here. He's really hunting that trophy, and we have seen in the first couple rounds that, like always, Novak starts slow. He doesn't look as sharp as like he does in the end of the tournament. But he's a big match player. He's a clutch player. He's a beast. He's a machine. He's a tremendously good athlete. He really doesn't have any flaws. He has so many weapons. He has his serve. He has his backhand. He has his forehand. He has his baseline game. He has the court coverage. He has how he switched up gear. How he switched up the when you have those baseline rallies. When you think that you can't do better than this, Novak just put on a button, and then he raises his level on a higher level. So he has time. It's 5 sets. He has time to come back. Look how he came back when he was 2-0 in sets, down 2-0 in sets against Tsitsipas in that French Open final 2 or 3 years ago. And Novak really possesses everything. He's the smartest player on court. Believe me, when I say smart, strategically smart, he knows really how to take advantage of his opponent's weakness. And with that backhand, which is the best weapon he has, like I said, Novak doesn't have any flaws. He can disappear, of course. He doesn't like win the condition. So Carlos better hope for win the condition. I don't know if that suits him, but... And when it comes to stamina, we all know that Novak is a guy that trains to perfection. And of course, the secret, it's not a secret, the best returns on the market. Novak, really, if Novak plays his A game like he did at the Australian Open, I think that this is going to be not an easy affair, but a comfortable ride to the trophy ceremony. All right. Then we have Carlos Alcaraz, the wonder kid, the wonder boy, the next superstar, the world #1, the guy that has everything. He likes to play offensive tennis, and he really needs to do that against Novak Djokovic. He really has to take time from him. He really needs to take time. He really needs to mix up the game. He needs to do what he has done so far in this tournament and since he has entered the tennis tour, go for the trigger, rely on his forehand, and he moves so great. It's sometimes he reminds of Djokovic in his movement. He really runs for everything. He's brave, and if he takes the ball early and goes on full cylinders, if he doesn't hesitate, if he just plays natural game, this can really be a tough contest for Novak Djokovic. He can definitely take out Novak Djokovic. Novak Djokovic is a human, but when he reached this far, he's in semifinal. To be honest, this is Novak's biggest test in this tournament so far, and this is the Carlos Alcaraz's biggest test. The winner in this match will probably lift the trophy. So this is a kind of the pre-final, a match that everybody has waited for. But Carlos Alcaraz, you know, that firepower that he has, the depth and length in his shots, that movement, and if he play flawless, I think that he can take out Novak Djokovic. But he has something that Novak does better, and that is serve. If Novak wins more points behind his serve and makes it easier for himself, there's gonna be a question mark also for Carlos to handle. Carlos Alcaraz have a great serve. He has a great second kick serve. But Novak Djokovic, he will take his time in the first opening set. He will read the game and adjust what he needs to do. And in the longer end, I know that everybody has hyped Carlos Alcaraz so much. I hype him also. But never forget who he's facing. He's facing Novak Djokovic. Look what he did against Khachanov. It looked like in the first two sets, it looks like Karen Khachanov was going to go up in 2 sets lead. What happened? Novak just wore him down in the end. Karen Khachanov's fuel went empty. And when you give Novak that momentum, it's a mental game, tennis. When you give him that a little bit of momentum, he will grab it without asking. And that's what I think. The only flaw that I've seen in Alcaraz's game is that he has a little bit of nerves, of course. He's unexperienced, of course. But when the crowd is against him, just look at when he lost against Hugo Gaston at that Paris Masters 2 years ago, when I think it was up 5-1 or 5-2. He couldn't handle the pressure. If he gets the crowd against him, which I don't think he will, because I think that's always Novak's tough luck in his career so far. But if he go out too offensive, if he has a big lead and the crowd is against him, I think that that's the only flaw I can see. The only flaw I can see him in his game, because he has the firepower, he has the artillery to hit through Novak without a doubt. So Novak, he will have to open up very passive and defensive and just turn this round, switch gears, and do what he has to done so far in his career. Turn the stakes around, turn the tables around. I think that Novak Djokovic is the better player. Alcaraz is still under development, and I give Novak the edge, but not by far. Same as with Zverev. I will give Novak 51 against 49 in this combat. Novak is more mentally tough so far. Novak is more experienced. Novak is the guys that has more tricks in his book, and he knows how to handle this tough pressure. But Carlos Alcaraz, on the other hand, can go out, play his game. He has fun on the court. He always smiles. So that's an advantage also when you're relaxed on court. But he won't get that many free points against Novak Djokovic that he has done in the previous round. He's not facing Tsitsipas. He's not facing a top 50, top 20. He's facing the guy that is out for his 23rd Grand Slam title. That's a very tough nut to crack. It's their first battle at the semifinal events, and may the best man win. I'm going with Novak and Zverev in the semifinal. I can be totally wrong. It can absolutely be the opposite. But I have to give my honest opinion, and my honest opinion is that Novak is playing the final on Sunday against Alexander Shasha Zverev. All right, thank you for watching. Take care and bye-bye.